Hello everyone, this is the Portkeys PT5ii. It is a tiny little external monitor which I think is perfect for cameras like the ZV-E10 and the Canon M50. Now, do you need one? Well, I don't know about you, but I certainly do. Let's talk about it. So disclaimer, Portkeys was, oh look at this, there's my light softbox grid. Reflecting, huh? I'll turn it this way. Nope, that's my other light. I don't have a softbox on that one. So Portkeys was kind enough to send over the PT5ii for you guys for this very professional, obviously, review. And I think this thing is fantastic. Bang for your buck. And it's tiny, it's lightweight, it comes with everything you need. And in fact, I'm gonna show you just right away. I'll get into the demonstration of the thing in a second. I'll put timestamps in this in the description of the video, but I will show you all the things it comes with. Like, this is what I really love about Portkeys. By the way, they make like fantastic professional type monitors, but they've made a couple of entry-level monitors for us. So first of all, it comes with this little Pelican type case. It's just this hard plastic, and it's got the egg crate stuff inside, and that's just great to protect your monitor, to be able to cart it around, and the case itself is not that big. I love that touch from Portkeys. And then we have the monitor itself comes with it, and it has also this like little cold shoe holder right there, so you can, you know, stick it in your cold shoe, and you can swivel it, you can turn it up and down. Very high quality metal. It has where is it? It has a little Allen key that so you can tighten it tighter if you want, or make it looser. It's up to you. That is your prerogative. And it comes with, I just dropped my Allen key. I'll never find it again. It comes with not just one HDMI cord, but two. One regular HDMI to HDMI, and also HDMI to micro HDMI, which you need for cameras like the ZV-E10. So very cool that they included all of that. Oh, and then the last thing is this. It's not the last thing, actually. It's the second last thing. It is the instruction manual. I almost forgot, like a huge thing. I will get to it. I could just edit this out, but I'm not going to. Very professional. Right here, look at this instruction manual. When was the last time you saw a manual this good and clear, glossy, full color pictures to show you how to use your monitor? And it's great because I actually learned how to use something by reading a tiny booklet for once, instead of combing through the internet and YouTube to find out how to use stuff. And here's the thing that I almost forgot. It's probably the best part of it. It comes with these little clips that you put on the side that are actually even labeled L and R, and who knows what that means. It could, so many things. I'm not even going to venture to guess, but they clip on here. And why? Because it comes with this handy little sunshade. And so the sunshade, you just take that and you click it on into the thing here, and Bob is your uncle. And don't worry, this is getting done super fast and smooth in this very professional review. Check this out, that little sunshade, that really helps out in the sunshine, because this monitor is 500 nits. It's not that bright, so when you're in the sunshine, you're definitely going to want to use that. I have been primarily using this thing inside in the studio. I did use it on my M50 review out in the sunshine, and I had no trouble. But if it's a bright sunny day, that is going to be a drawback for you. And so now let's talk about the monitor itself. It takes Sony NPF batteries, any flavor of NPF batteries. I have a ton of those around, but it also takes Canon batteries on the other side. So that's kind of cool. Whether or not you have the Sony batteries or the Canon batteries, you know, you'll be able to fit them in this thing, and it just snaps in, and it actually has a locking thing. Some monitors don't have a locking thing for the battery. I always like it when it locks for the battery. The on-off switch is right here, and where else? That is the USB, so you can actually add custom LUTs through the USB. You can update it through the USB, and you can add custom LUTs, whatever you want. I do add those, and I have been using it. I will show you that in the demonstration. You can also power it through the USB as well. And here you can buy an external power supply if you want to just plug it into the wall yourself. I've been getting by on the batteries. It only has a 7-volt draw, so one of these little batteries just lasted me all day long. I just had it on all day fooling around with this thing, and the battery never died, so it has great battery life. And on the other side, HDMI in and HDMI out, and a little headphone jack as well, in case your camera doesn't have a headphone port, like say the Canon M50. No headphone port? No problem. You got the on the external monitor there. And the HDMI goes up to 4K, both input and output. You don't see that very often at this price point. And the price point I will mention is right now, this is $130 US, and it's also $160 on the Canadian Amazon store. So I don't know how that's possible, but that is fantastic. $130 US for a 4K in. Now the output, the screen itself is 1080, but on a 5-inch screen, that is plenty resolution. It looks really, really good, and it is very useful. I will show you in the demonstration. It weighs nothing. It is 130 grams, which is why I love it so much for my little Dougie. Dougie's tiny. He doesn't want a giant monitor on top of him. You just stick him on top and everything is fine. Do I have a Ninja 5 around here somewhere? Look at the size of this thing and weight. You'll have to trust me on that. The weight compared to this is so much smaller and thinner and easy to transport. Oh, I like this so much. And this thing has a fan, and it's not a quiet fan. I actually dislike the fan. I often turn off my Ninja 5 and because I don't want the fan whirring. This thing is passive cooling. There is no fan. I had it running for hours and hours and no overheating issues, nothing like that. So this, I think, is a much better solution for quick video monitoring with a smaller camera as opposed to this. I mean, this thing's a powerhouse. It can do so much, and you can record to it, and it comes in very, very useful at times. But there are a lot of times I just want an external monitor so that I can see what I'm doing and I can set my levels properly, and that is why I use this now all the time. I use this more than I use this. Okay, so I have the little PT5 sitting up there just perfect on my little Dougie, and as you can see from the screen on Doug there, because I'm using the HLG3 that I like to use with my Paul Leeming, so I'm exposing 85 for zebras on my skin tone, and look at the Sony screen. It is just crazy blown out, and you can barely see a thing, and up there, the screen looks really good, and you can even see the red zebras. I don't know if that'll show up on camera, but there are red zebras, and I can turn them off. Now that I know my exposure is correct, just click on the zebras. They are off, back to the full screen. And also, you can add LUTs into this monitor. So I have added the Paul Leeming LUT just so I could see what it looks like in real time. Let's see, here it is, and turn it on. And there you go. And that's pretty much how my image is going to look when I grade it. There'll be a slight difference when I get it in post, but that gives me a really good idea of how the image will look. I actually like to set the blacks here. Where is it? The black level, you see I have off. The regular black levels on, when it's on by default, it creates kind of a more contrasty image, and I find that I like it when the black is off so I can see a little bit more of the screen. The screen's not too bright, so I like to see more of the back. But when you're setting your exposure for the monitor, if you're using things like LUTs and you're going to use S-Log or a log profile or HLG3, then I would say what you want to do is turn your LUTs off because you want to set your zebras to not the LUT zebras. You know, you set your exposure to the actual picture and then click on your LUT after once you've set your exposure level. So right now, this is perfect exposure, and I can see the screen much clearer. I can tell whether or not that the camera is lopsided, and this actually has a grid as well. Let's put on the grid. See, oh, look at that. Straight as an arrow right there. And the grid will stay on when you're in full screen. As you can see, it's a really easy touch menu here. So this here is the setting page with some quick start menu. You swipe over, you get both lines. You can add or subtract any of these things. You just swipe over here, and here's the full list. And I will let you see that right now. I'll read them out. Why not, right? Peaking false color, Luma waveform, guides, crosshair, grids, check field, zebra, Luma histogram, RGB waveform, audio meter, 3D LUT, zooming, and HDR. So these are all, so many of these are useful. The only thing that it doesn't really have is a vector scope. It doesn't have a vector scope to show your skin tones, but I honestly never use that with monitors anyway. So this is a bit weird. I'm doing the video, I'm constantly staring at the monitor because we're talking about the monitor. I hate when people make videos and they just stare at their like side screen or their monitor the whole time like they're lunatics. So I like to look directly into the camera lens so that it appears I am peering into your soul, you know, like not a lunatic at all. So let me show you how to add a LUT while we're at it. You just stick the USB stick in there. You go to your LUTs and the LUTs page right here. So from the settings menu, you just click this on. I'll just turn it off. Settings menu, LUTs, and you click on the LUT page. And then right here, this is stored from USB. Those are ones that are already loaded on. USB looks when I need to load it on. The screen will go blank and then kick back in a second. And there it is, 3D LUT. You click on that, and then here's your C drive. And then here is all of the LUTs that I have. And you wanted to, if you want to add one here, you just double click it, and then it loads it up. And then there it goes here. And now it's loading on to the system. And then that is it. Your LUT is complete. So now you go to your stored from USB and you will see that it is lit right there. See, this is the one I just added. Now we were already on it, so it doesn't really matter and it's not going to change anything. And there you go. That is it. It's a very intuitive, very easy to use monitor. And I always want a monitor for the studio because it helps me set my exposure properly, and I really like it. Now you may have noticed that I had zebras running rampant all over my face on the little LCD screen on the ZV-E10, whereas the zebras were quite controlled up on the PT5. That's because the LCD screens they're poor resolution. The zebras are not that accurate, I find, on any of the cameras on the LCD screen. So I find it's much better to set your exposure with your zebras on an external monitor. I often use the Ninja 5, but on my little cameras, I am now going to be using the PT5 because it is much better suited for them. And also, there is no fan noise because it doesn't have a fan, and I love that a lot. When I use my Ninja 5, I always set my levels and my exposure. I don't record to it, so then I just turn it off. So I'm just, you know, there's a lot of the times, I do record to it sometimes when necessary, but a lot of the times I don't want the big bulky Ninja 5 and its loud fan. Oh, and I should also mention, when you're loading on a LUT, I didn't have any success with my first USB stick because I had it formatted to Mac OS journaled, whereas it needed to be formatted to MS-DOS exFAT. You know, and this day and age, 2022, calling a USB exFAT, that's not appropriate. But you do need to format it to that if you want it to work with the monitor. At least that's what I had to do in order to get my LUTs to load on, so bear that in mind. Now, Portkeys did send this out, so this is the one I'm reviewing. I'm not saying it is the only external monitor that can work for you. I am just saying this one definitely works for me at quite a reasonable price, and I am a major fan of external monitors, especially in the studio, to get your framing right, to get your exposure right, to get everything right. I always use an external monitor. I have stopped relying on the LCD screens for quite some time. When I'm outside vlogging, sure. But when I'm in the studio with all of my lights set up, I want a bigger screen to see what I'm doing, and I want proper exposure tools to make sure that I'm doing everything right. I also always use a color checker, but that is a video for another day. So thanks again to Portkeys for sending this little beauty out. I have been making great use of it for the last few weeks, and I'm sure I will continue using it until the day that I am dead, which who knows, it could be soon. And I am not in great health. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below and I will be sure to get back to you. I answer everything, even the bad stuff. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye. Seriously though, no bad stuff. I have a fragile ego. I'm fragile. I need a pelican case for my heart.